the constant vigilance. He can barely remember the last time he had a decent night's sleep. Sharon fishes around inside the pockets of her coat, finds a bald tissue which she dabs at her face, then tucks into her sleeve. It pokes out, smeared with lipstick and foundation. "I guess you're wondering why I'm here," she says, her jowls settling in the folds of her neck. "Too right," he says. Ever since last Wednesday, when young Carl told him she was visiting, the question's been on Derek's mind. What possible reason could his ex-sister-in-law have to set foot inside a prison? He hopes it's good news, but he doesn't like his chances. "I'm not here for me," she rushes out, as if Derek has openly questioned her presence. "To what do I owe the pleasure, then?" She leans forward as if sharing a confidence. "If Lorraine knew I was here, she'd kill me. Lolly's more than happy to let you stew in your own juices, but Sharon's not like that. Physical similarities aside, Sharon couldn't be any more different from her sister. A bit like him and his brother Steve." Sharon shakes her head, gives him a sorrowful look. "God knows you've made a complete fool of yourself. I can't pretend I think otherwise. I've been over and over it 1,000 times, and I really can't fathom how you could throw everything away like you did." A ripple of discontent sends a shudder through her shoulders. "I promised myself I wouldn't go down that path. Lorraine can say what she likes, but as far as I'm concerned, it's punishment enough you're in here." It wasn't punishment enough for Lorraine, though. She filed for divorce right after the sentencing hearing, and with that, their 22-year marriage was over. Derek's wedding ring remains zipped inside his wallet, which is secured inside a bag with his clothes and keys for a house he no longer owns, waiting for his release. Derek keeps his trap shut. He has no desire to rehash the ins and outs of how he became a resident of Yarrandarrah. And he's willing to bet Sharon isn't making the 7-hour round trip to examine his conscience. "But that's not good enough for Lolly, is it?" Sharon goes on, oblivious to Derek's internal machinations. "No, she has to rub your nose in it and turn Debbie against you too." Physically, his daughter Debbie is cut from the same cloth as Sharon and Lorraine, but personality-wise, she's always reminded Derek of his long-lost mother. Not that it makes a squirt of difference. Lorraine succeeded a long time ago in making him feel that his input, from the sperm to the parenting, was incidental. Sharon leans closer, her generous bosom pillowed by the tabletop. "You know, that's why she refused to register for the phone service. Didn't want Debbie talking to you. Said it was for her own good, that she needed to move on." Sharon sits back with a huff. "Makes me spitting mad. But you know as well as I do that Lorraine's always had a mean streak." Derek takes a deep breath, the hurt a clenched fist in his chest. "That's why I write to her." Sharon looks surprised. "What, letters?" "I write to Debbie every week. And Dad." Sharon's surprise turns into indignation. She's a woman used to having her finger on the pulse and is none too happy to discover she's not as reliably informed as she thinks. "Lorraine's never mentioned any letters." "I never miss a week," Derek replies, pride sweeping into his tone. He does the arithmetic in his head. That's 260 letters rounded down to the nearest year, plus a card each birthday. Although Christ knows it's a miserable selection at the buy-up. He pins Sharon with a stern look, reminiscent of his teaching days back at Turnley Vale High. "You're not the only one who knows what Lorraine's like. Debbie's smart enough to keep her mother in the dark. At least, he hopes that's the reason." Sharon braces her forearms on the table. "That's why I'm here." "Sorry, Shaz, but my interest in talking about Lorraine is zero. Can we change the subject?" Sharon shakes her head furiously. "Not Lorraine, you idiot. Deborah." This startles him, especially because Sharon
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.